Don't rush to replace a cloudy headlight just because it looks old and yellow. Sometimes the cheapest solution is sitting right in front of you. Today I'm going to reveal a little-known Coca-Cola trick for cleaning this foggy headlight and see whether this simple drink can help loosen the oxidation and grime on the surface. If it works, it could save you a lot of money on your old car. Welcome back to Dan Fix. I'm Dan. This plastic lens has aged badly. The yellow layer is not just loose dirt on the surface, so wiping it by hand will not fix the problem. First, pour the water out of the spray bottle into a bowl. Then open a can of Coca-Cola and pour it into the bottle. Close the cap and shake it gently. I want to be clear, Coca-Cola alone will not magically restore a headlight. It helps keep the surface wet, and its mild acidity can help loosen surface grime while we sand. Place the headlight on a stainless tray. Spray Coca-Cola across the lens, then spray the P1200 sandpaper as well. Keep everything wet before the first pass. Start sanding in one direction from one end of the headlight to the other. Work one small section at a time and do not sand in circles. P1200 is fine enough for plastic, but it still has enough bite to remove the yellow oxidized layer on top. The Coca-Cola helps carry away plastic dust and dirty residue. Do not press too hard. Let the wet sandpaper do the work. After this first step, the lens looks a little brighter, but it is still cloudy and yellow. Next, move to P1500 sandpaper. Wet it with Coca-Cola and sand the same way straight passes in one direction. P1500 does not cut as aggressively as P1200. Its job is to reduce the scratches from the first sanding step and make the surface more even. Now the difference starts to show. The headlight looks much clearer than before. For the next step, use P2000 sandpaper. Spray the lens again, wet the paper, and keep the motion controlled. I stay with the same direction because it makes the scratch pattern easier to refine. P2000 removes the smaller marks left by P1500 and prepares the plastic for the final clearing step. Have you ever wet sanded a headlight before? Or do you usually just polish it by hand? After P2000, compare the lens to the beginning. In this test, it looks almost 90% recovered, but there is still a light haze. That haze is why we need the next trick, for the clearing tool. Recycle the same Coca-Cola can. Pour a small amount of acetone into the empty can. Acetone is very flammable and the vapor is strong, so work outside or in a very well-ventilated area. Keep it away from flame sparks. Cigarettes, hot tools, and electrical equipment. Do not breathe the vapor. Use small pieces of foil tape to cover the opening of the can. Then prepare a plastic hose about 20 inches long or 50 centimeters. Insert the hose into the opening and seal around it with more foil tape. Do not create a sealed pressure container. The hose must stay open so the vapor can escape safely. The idea is simple. When acetone vapor travels through the hose and touches the plastic lens, it can soften the outer surface very slightly. That can make tiny sanding marks flow together and make the lens look clearer. But Too much vapor can damage the plastic, so we have to move slowly. When vapor begins coming out of the hose, bring the hose near the headlight. Do not touch the plastic. Do not hold it in one spot too long. I move it across one small area at a time. Look at the change. As the warm vapor passes over the surface, the plastic shifts from cloudy to clearer. It almost looks like the haze is disappearing right in front of us. Be patient here. Short passes are safer than one long blast. If one area turns clear, move to the next area before the plastic gets too soft. After the lens clears, wipe the surface with a little WD-40 on a cloth. I use it here to add gloss and hide a few tiny marks, but WD-40 is not a permanent UV coating. If this headlight will go back on a car, a proper UV protectant or clear coat will make the result last longer. Tell me what country you're watching from. I'd love to learn the headlight restoration tricks people use in your part of the world. Now compare it with the beginning. This old cloudy lens looks brighter, clearer, and much more useful than when we started. Coca-Cola helped as a wet sanding liquid, the fine sandpaper removed the damaged layer, and the acetone vapor gave the final clear effect. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe to DanFix, and tell me what we should test next: toothpaste vinegar, baking soda, or another garage trick.